Welcome to the Principal Podcast, where we talk about how the best professional services firms grow. Whether you're looking to scale your firm or learn from the stories of founders and leaders who've done it, you're in the right place. Join us as we interview the best leaders in professional services. Let's get on with the show. Steve, welcome to the Principal Podcast. Happy to have you.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
It is my pleasure. Let's jump straight into it. What's the story? What got you into sales and entrepreneurship and eventually led you to build Badger Maps?
So I guess I didn't start out to start a business, really. I went to business school and then I worked at some big companies. I worked at IBM. I worked at a software company called Autonomy. And then I went to Google and I spent some time at Google. And while I was there, and this is back around 2010, while I was there, I came across an idea where I was in field sales and I was selling Google Maps as one of the main things I was working with. And so I kind of saw this opportunity to, salespeople who were in the field needed to understand their territories. Basically, they had mapping problems, and I was selling Google Maps, so I understood what Google Maps did. And the phone was really taking off. So these mobile salespeople needed to do things on a phone. And so that it was kind of those three things coming together: the maps that were available, that I understood sales, and that phones were getting strong enough to run real software. And that caused me to build Badger Maps.
So see, even after 800 interviews, I still sometimes forget to unmute myself. So what's the problem that you solve with Badger Maps? Like, what is it that you're helping people achieve exactly?
So field salespeople are out, when I say field sales, outside sales, I mean people that go and meet their customers face to face. So think of like someone who sells dental equipment to dentists, or things, things that doctors need to doctors, but also tires to tire stores, or things that end up in convenience stores. And so they have to decide, given where I have to be or where I should be, what else should I do tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that? And they want to organize their time and their day as efficiently as they can. So they kind of need to take everything they know about their customers and prioritize them, just like any salesperson would. They have to figure out who they're going to invest their time on, except they also have to plan that they're going to be all over the place, right? If you were selling over the phone, you can be in New York effectively 1 minute and Hawaii the next minute. But a field salesperson, because they have to physically be there, they have to plan what they're doing a little more carefully, but they still have to do it efficiently. And those are the problems that we solve at Badger.
How many field salespeople are there out there? Curiosity.
It's a good question. So I would guess about 5 million globally.
US or like worldwide?
Worldwide.
Okay, interesting. I guess majority of them in the US. Is that a growing market, or do you see more and more people just trying to sell over the phone?
It depends on the industry. So
Right.
Some things, the larger disruptor, I would say, to this is the internet, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of things can be sold online or over Amazon, and that's probably been more disruptive to like retail stores.
Yeah.
And then there's like software. When I started selling software, we sold it in person generally, but today software is almost always sold over the phone because it's no longer a really big ticket item. Software used to be $1 million for a CD, right? Today it's generally sold by the month or by the year, and it's generally a lot cheaper and a smaller investment than it was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But I would actually say it's not the number of field salespeople. I actually think it's pretty flat. It's not. I wouldn't say that's going down, and it may even be going up in the noisy world that we're in right now, because a great way to keep attention and keep the ball moving in a world where everyone's basically being screamed at digitally is to get face to face. And if you're doing it efficiently, it's not that heavy of a lift to drive and meet with people face to face, which can shrink sales cycles, build relationships, etc.
Yeah. So I guess the who is pretty straightforward, right? Field salespeople. Are you trying to reach directly the field salespeople, or are you trying to reach their managers or the companies that hire the salespeople? Who buys Badger Maps?
Both. So one
Interesting.
person can purchase Badger for just themselves, a one person company or one person at a larger company, and they can start using it to build their routes, plan their time, etc. Um, Also, a company can buy us, and we have companies of like enterprise size, sales teams of 1,000 people using us, and everything in between. Now, obviously, a lot of our features and capabilities are kind of geared towards teams and especially bigger teams, but that doesn't mean that a single person doesn't get a lot of value out of it. So we support both, and we'll even integrate um, a single person's CRM for them. If it's one of the 11 CRMs that we integrate to, we'll set them up integrated with a live connection two-way with their CRM. And but yeah, I mean a lot of the things that we do are totally useless to a single person as well. It's only useful to a company, for example, if you're going to balance 100 territories across America. Hey, I have 100 sales reps. Build out the territories for me, balancing on this number of accounts, how much revenue is coming out of them, and the amount of potential revenue, and give me fair territories across the country. Obviously, a single person or even a 5-person team doesn't need that.
So, I mean, we all know where this is going. I'm very curious to understand how you market the app. But before we get there, who are the people that you want to get into a room with? Because I understand that whilst it can be the individual on their own, right? If they have the right to connect the app to their CRM, or even if they have a solopreneur business. But who are the ones who can bring the, 10, 50, 100, 1,000 users, which I guess are the higher priority list targets? Who is that for you? Like, is there a particular industry, niche, back to the number of field sales agents based on the industry? Who do you try to get in front of the most?
Well, generally it's people, decision makers that are around a field sales team, and there's can be a bunch of those. It can be a CEO, it can be the VP of sales, it can be a sales manager, it can be sales enablement, sales operations. So when it's a larger team, it can kind of be spearheaded by a variety of people. The IT team, the people that run the CRM, can often be the ones pulling us in. So
Okay.
sometimes a different person identifies, hey, there's a problem, and we'd like to solve it with this. We think this is the solution, and sometimes it's a different person that actually does the evaluation, the piloting, etc.
Fair enough. The next question then is, how do you market that? Because I guess there is the field operator, the solopreneur, the sales agent who wants to be more efficient, right, and kind of stand out and potentially reach the top of the leaderboard. And then you have the sales managers, VP of sales, I guess VP of sales, CRO, chief revenue officers. So, what has worked for you, Steve, to market and brand Badger Maps?
Well, I mean, we do a lot of things. I think as do a lot of people, right? So, um, one of the bigger things that we do is try to build out our web presence historically, right? So, historically, there's been a lot of SEO work and all the things that you would do there, creating content, getting doing things that get people to link to you, etc. But over time, I think that's probably changed a lot from that inbound motion. That the inbound motion is probably still the most important one for us, but that has shifted. We don't do a ton of cold calling. We try to do some. We've experimented with a lot of things over the years, but inbound has always been the strongest. And frankly, a lot of that inbound is referrals from other people, right? So people that are already using the app. The other thing about selling to field salespeople is they change jobs a lot on average. It's a job where people move around a lot. And so if they've had a good experience at one company, when they go to another company, they'll often get it there too. Field salespeople often have a credit card as well. So they have buying power. So if they switch jobs, they're not, and they use one of our products, chances are they're not going to want to start doing that by hand at their next job, and they can swipe a credit card and start using us again at their next job. So we do see that a lot. We see people move around. We've had customers go to 4 companies, they're a sales enablement executive or something, and they'll go to, they've taken us and dragged us along to 4 companies as they kind of move through the different companies in their industry, as salespeople often do. So word of mouth and referrals and just people moving around is one of our biggest sources. Paid digital, so Google ads, Meta ads, LinkedIn ads, those types of just the different levels of targeting, or targeting them because they've searched for a specific thing. Partners, so we have a variety of partnerships with other software companies that also sell to field salespeople, and also consulting firms that, especially like SIs, like meaning they consulting firms that deploy CRM systems. A lot of times will be who pulls us in. So those are kind of all. Those are our most important things. We don't do a ton on like social media or anything like that.
Fair enough. Word of mouth, referral. I guess SaaS apps is very much product driven, right? If you have a good product, people talk about it, word of mouth, and it expands on its own. And ads is usually the good complement for when you want to turn the dial on and off. So that does make a lot of sense. Talk to me about your forte. What does sales motion look like at Badger Maps? How do you go from, someone hearing about it or like getting referred the app or seeing an ad to a conversation, a sales conversation, an SOW, a letter of engagement with rock and roll, or not even, right? Is it checkout? Like, how does it work to sell an app to salespeople?
Yeah, for sure. The salespeople, they often want to see and use the thing. So we have a free trial. We'll support pilots for companies who want to try it out with their entire team. We actually have a 90-day money back guarantee where people can use it for 90 days. And if they don't like it for any reason, they can just give it back to us. I guess you can't give back software, but we'll give them their money. They can have the software turned off, and we'll give them their money back. So we really lean on that free trial because we're a platform for field salespeople, and we've been doing it for 15 years. So we have a ton of different things that we do for them, right? And it's like it's 150 little capabilities, some of which are related, some of which are pretty random, right? Like lead routing. As new leads come in from the website or marketing or wherever, we'll route it to the right territory and have it, so it instantly hits the person, the sales rep's inbox that they have a new lead, right? And shows, it's assigned to them in the CRM, et cetera. But like that has nothing to do with, the routing and decision making that a field salesperson is doing in the field, or the lead gen tool, or the territory balancing tool. Like, so these are all totally different things. So we really lean on letting people try any of them out, because everybody kind of shows up with some problem or pain that they're trying to solve quickly, or that they'd like to deal with. But actually, they just don't have something like this in place at all. And so it's like, oh, I could have all this stuff done on this platform. Oh, okay. And some of it is sold separately. Some of it's bundled, right? Like the Badger Map, the flagship project or product that has a ton of stuff bundled in it, right? Whereas the lead routing product is sold separately. It's inexpensive, and that's kind of its own little island, right? So anyway, long story short, the way we sell is by letting people use it, and we try to make as much of it available to them, as much information available on the website as possible, and we try to be as transparent as possible from like a pricing perspective and a what does this do perspective. We try to put lots of little videos on the website of the product, clear pricing page that explains each feature and links to a page going deep on each feature should they so they can. We want them to have as few questions for the sales team as possible, because people like to be able to figure it out, and also half of the websites, it's written just as much for AI and Google as it is for people, right? We have like people ask questions in those places, and they want to see the answers, and so we try to make that as available and clear as possible. I think most people, when they engage with our sales team, have generally understand what we do, why they want it, why it's valuable to them before they start talking with the salesperson. And so the salesperson is more explaining the process, demoing the product to answer the questions that they have to around what it exactly does, and then getting them transferred over to someone who can actually set it up for them and their team.
There is one thing that we haven't talked about, Steve, but that I know you're doing, and that is something I love. Talk to me about outside sales talk, and how is that playing into the whole mix of giving that information, being transparent, having conversations, giving to the community. Can you talk to us about that?
Totally. So outside sales talk is my podcast. I started it, I believe, in 2016. I think it's having its 10-year anniversary. And I don't have that much to say myself on the podcast. I bring on guests who are experts in different areas of sales, and I interview them and talk to them about their area of expertise, all through the lens of the listeners of Outside Sales Talk are outside sales people. And so I suspect that it's the biggest corpus of data of the world's brain trust on sales about field sales that exists, because we just kind of have someone on the marketing team and we sit down and think of a bunch of questions given what what their area of expertise is, and we just have them teach what they know. And I think it's been cool for the community. It's been more popular than I would have guessed, it's been a lot of fun too. And I've really enjoyed it. I've met a ton of thought leaders in the industry, and they often in terms of spreading the word, right? They're great for spreading the word, because sales thought leaders are often talking to sales leaders and managers who then when they describe if someone's come on the podcast, they probably walk away with us kind of relatively top of mind, right? They remember, oh yeah, there is a mapping and routing software for field sales teams, and so I think that's hard to attribute or put a dollar value on, but I think it's been important.
So what we preach a lot in professional services, and you work with consultants, so you would know, is trust, right? When the product is less tangible than an app, typically, it's intangible, right? It's like it's a service, it's expertise. And this is where having a mechanism to build a tool to build trust and build that authority ahead of the relationship building and potentially a sales conversation is huge. And so I don't always talk about it on this show, because likewise, it's focused on the guest. But when they do have a podcast, oh boy, I jump both feet right in. How is that building that corpus of knowledge, building that trust, giving back to the community, do you feel how is that all helping Badger Maps ultimately? Or is it just to have some thought leadership and give back to the industry? What's the idea when we link it to the business?
No, I mean, we originally started it to, get the word out there that we exist. I mean, I think create that was back in the day when, content was king, right? And so it's just one more type of content. over the decade of doing it, I think I liked it more and more, and quickly, saw a lot of the value of doing it, and it's actually a lot of fun for me. I mean, I enjoy it. Obviously my background is in field sales. I run a company for field salespeople, so it's fun and interesting to have conversations about different things that are useful for field salespeople to know with experts in the field, right? It's certainly been a great education for me, and I'm not sure how many episodes we've done over the years. Not as many as you, I don't think. I haven't been quite as prolific, but I think we've done like 300 or so. One fun thing I did was create a top 50. Like, so
Okay.
I did, wrote down the top 50 that we'd done, and we like put them all into a little package, and then people can find that. And when people sign up for Badger, we'll send that to them because it's really useful. And these guys are in their car too. I guess, one reason this has worked for me. It might not work for everyone as well, because field salespeople love podcasts because they drive around, right? So, they're in the car 10 hours a week on average, and so you get your podcast time in. And so I think that's one reason it has worked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I think I didn't just do it to give back to the community, for sure, though. I did it to get the word out about us and to create a bunch of cool content. And but it's definitely been a great experience overall.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's networking opportunities as well, right? I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong here, but if you interview, talk to, and nurture relationships with sales experts who have themselves an influence and a reach within, your target markets, it's word of mouth. It's spreading the word, right? It's getting the Badger Maps world out there and getting more people to refer you. So it's those partnerships and this networking that leads to ultimately new leads as well, I would imagine.
Yeah. And that's the whole, it certainly having a bunch of content. One of the reasons we do so well in AEO and SEO is AIO. I never know what to call that these days. AIO, AEO, GEO. I don't know, but
something like this.
So whatever that is. I think one reason we've done really well in that is all the content that we've put out there, like the podcast. It's unique content. It's cool. People share it. And I think Google's smart enough to know, this is like a sales thought leader, and they're talking about this stuff, so it must be important to salespeople. And so I think that all kind of it's all fed on itself.
Yeah. I like your style, Steve. So I'm gonna throw a little bit of a curveball question at you now, if you don't mind.
All right.
What is your guys' number one challenge right now? What is the one node that you're trying to crack that once you crack, you take the whole thing to the next level? What would that be for you?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for us is just how noisy the world is, right? Like, we're not worried about our competitors or, not being able to build software, or we're able to create so many things so quickly, and quicker than ever now with all that, with how AI is helping us build software. But it's also become such a noisy world, right? So I would guess that about 2% of people that would benefit from our software in the world actually use it. And so it's one of the, maybe less, frankly. And, it's cutting through the noise, because there's most professionals would benefit from 10 more types of software that automates this or fixes that or does this better or streamlines that. And it's hard to get, and everyone, I think people are busy and asked to do more with less, especially on the sales side. No salesperson's boss has ever been like, thanks for selling all that stuff. Why don't you take it a little easier? So I think that's our biggest challenge is not just having the awareness, but having people say, I should really actually take the time to go check this out and set it up and start doing it. And frankly, I think the time ROI is about a week. Like the amount of time it takes to deal with this, you save that much time in a week. So it's hard to it's quick and easy to do, but it's still just the hurdle of doing one more thing or adding one more tool to your belt, I think, is really challenging for people sometimes. So that I think is probably our biggest challenge.
Yeah, and I think this is a challenge that 99.9% of entrepreneurs are facing. We live in a day and age where, it's so easy to put content out there and to make some noise. And I mean, I'm seeing an expert in every field, literally at every scroll on LinkedIn. So yeah, I get you.
Yeah, everybody's getting screamed at, and the inbox is getting harder and harder to deal with as everyone's learned to send 200,000 emails a week. So
That is very true. Steve Benson, ladies and gentlemen. Steve, if people want to find out more about you, see what you do, stand out from the noise and the 250,000 emails sent per day to actually go and meet the potential clients, where should they go?
I'd say I've always said the best way to find me is on LinkedIn. Just look Steve Benson, Badger Maps. But I'm about a month behind on my LinkedIn messages right now. But that still probably is the best way, the best way to get a hold of me. So, but I'm going to catch up on that this weekend. So that will remain the best way to get a hold of me.
We will put all the links in the description. I can say one thing for sure. It's that you've gained at least one new connection on LinkedIn out of this podcast. Me, I just added you. Steve, thank you so much for coming on the Principal Podcast.
It's been great, and have a great time, everybody.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Principal Podcast. We hope you've learned valuable lessons and strategies to grow your firm and take your business to the next level. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening to this show so you never miss an episode. To apply and be a guest on the show, click the link in the description. See you next time.